The stars were silent. Far from any system or sun, a black prison ship floated in deep space. Its name, Helsol 9, was whispered by criminals across the galaxy. No one escaped from it. Most who went in never came out. Even the guards hated working. Their inside metal walls dripped with moisture. Lights flickered. The smell of fear and old blood filled the air. Prisoners, aliens of all shapes, colors, and horrors moved like shadows. Some screamed, some whispered, some just stared at. The walls broken and empty. Then the alarms began to sound. Red lights flashed. The prison shook for a moment, then became still again. Something had arrived. Guards ran to the docking bay. Most of them had never seen that kind of ship before. It wasn't large, just a single black pod, silent and smooth like a coffin. Didn't belong to any known species. The warden was already waiting, standing tall in his long coat, arms behind his back, his eyes cold and glowing silver, watched the pod closely. A young guard stepped beside him. Kara, Tellin, only 20 cycles old, asked quietly, "Sir, what's in there?" The warden didn't look at her. Not what. Who? The pod opened with a hiss. Mist spilled out, and then stepped out. The man was tall, over 2 meters. His body was wrapped in heavy chains. His face was calm, no fear, no anger, just cold focus. His eyes scanned the room like a machine. "Is that a human?" Kara asked, her voice shaking. "Class 15 Deathworlder," the warden replied. "Name Dane Voss. From a planet called Earth, extremely dangerous. Kill on sight if loose." The guards around them tightened their grips on their shock weapons. Some stepped back. "But why bring him here?" Kara whispered. The warden smiled, just a little. "Because even monsters need cages." 2 guards moved forward. One touched Dane's arm to lead him. Dane didn't move. The second guard raised his weapon. "Move." Still, Dane didn't respond. "Shock him," one yelled. Before the command was fully spoken, Dane shifted. In a blur, he twisted his chains, wrapped them around the first guard's weapon, and pulled. The weapon flew into his hands, but he didn't fire. He dropped it on the floor, then he held out his hands again, silent. The warden stepped forward, clapping slowly. "Very good," he said. "Controlled, fast, deadly." Dane said nothing. The warden's voice grew colder. "You will learn that. Here, words are currency. But silence is a weapon too." The guards dragged Dane down dark halls. Metal doors slammed behind him. He passed by cell after cell hatch, one full of monsters. One had a being with 4 jaws and no eyes. Another held a gas-based life form floating in a glass cage. They all stared at him, but none dared speak. Word had already spread. A human was here, a real one. Dane was thrown into a small cell. Bare walls, no bed, just cold stone and rusted chains. The door slammed shut. The silence was loud. Dane sat against the wall, eyes half closed, but his ears listened. His mind mapped every sound, every guard's step, every prisoner's breath in the control room above. Kara watched the camera feed. "He didn't resist," she said. "No," the warden replied. "He's watching, waiting, learning. But why put him here?" The warden turned to her, his smile gone. "Because if he survives in here, he's worth more than any army. And if he dies, it saves us the trouble." Kara frowned. Something wasn't right. This wasn't just about control or safety. It was something deeper. Later that night, the guards opened Dane's cell. "No food," one said. "Just the pit." They dragged him through winding tunnels until they reached a massive steel door. Screams echoed behind it. When the door opened, Dane saw it the feeding pit. Inside, prisoners fought over scraps. Broken teeth, blood, and claws filled the air. It was survival, pure and simple. The guards pushed Dane in and locked the door. Noise stopped. 30 prisoners looked at the new arrival. Some were twice his size. Some had venom. Some had claws that could cut steel, but all hesitated. Dane didn't move. A large beast stepped forward, all muscle and scales. It grinned. Fresh meat, it growled. It charged. The others followed. Dane waited until the last second, then he moved. In a blur, he dropped the first attacker with a single strike to the throat. The second got a broken arm. The third went flying into a wall. He didn't kill. He didn't even scream. He moved like wind and hit like steel. One by one they fell. The last 4 backed away, eyes wide. One dropped to the ground and raised his hands. Dane stood in the middle of the pitcom, breathing steady. Around him, groans and whimpers filled the air. Then, without a word, he walked to a corner and sat down in the control room. The guard stared at the screen in silence. Kara whispered, "He could have killed all of them." The warden nodded. But he didn't. That's what makes him dangerous. The next day, something changed. Prisoners began avoiding Dane's cell. Guards walked a little more carefully past him. One even left a piece of bread at his door, but Dane said nothing. One night, Kara left her post and walked down to the lower levels. She stopped outside his cell. "Why are you here?" she asked. He didn't answer. She leaned closer. "I saw what you did. You let them live." "Why?" He finally looked at her. "Because I'm not here to survive," he said, voice low and calm. "I'm here to understand." Kara stared at him. Understand what? He looked back at the dark hallway. This place. The guards. The experiments. The reason they brought me here. Something's wrong. Then he leaned back against the wall and closed his eyes. Kara stood there a moment longer, then walked away. But her hands were shaking. Back in the warden's office, a message arrived. A private signal. No name. No sender. It said, "Subject, Dane Voss has arrived. Proceed to phase 2. The warden leaned back in his chair, eyes glowing. Let's see what the human does. When he sees what we're really hiding, and deep beneath Hellsel 9, behind locked doors and forgotten tunnels, something else opened its eyes. Not human, not alien, something in between, and it was hungry. Midnight, the prison was silent. Too silent in cell block C, cameras glitched, lights dimmed, soft hissing sound passed through the air, vents dry, cold, and wrong. No alarms rang, no guards moved, but something was crawling through. The dark dot in cell 47, Dane Voss sat still, eyes closed, but his mind sharp. He heard it, not footsteps. Scratching, the door didn't open, but something slid under it. Long black shape, no face, no form, just a whispering voice that wasn't a voice at all. "We are watching. We know what you are." Then it vanished. Dane opened his eyes. He wasn't surprised. He'd been waiting full. The story Kara Tellin paced inside the guard briefing room. The others were gone. She kept her voice low, sending a message through her secure pad. He's seen too much. He's asking the right questions. And now, they're watching him. Back in his cell, Dane studied the data pad Kara had given him. Inside were prison blueprints, power schedules, and names of guards who'd vanished. Some files were corrupted, some redacted, but he could still piece parts together. Sector 7, the restricted zone below the pit. Officially not operational, unofficially, a lab. Or worse, a place where things were done to inmates, and now something from Sector 7 had visited. Him not to kill, to warn, or maybe to recruit. Flashback 2 years earlier, Dane walked through a cratered Earth outpost during his last mission. The lab had gone dark. No life signs, no distress signal. His team went in blind. Inside they found bodies, but not human, alien scientists. Torn apart. Data cores missing. Storage units broken open then. Black transport pods appeared. Men in Earth uniforms came, not soldiers, not doctors. When Dane asked who they were, they gave one answer. Class 15 clearance. You didn't see this? 3 weeks later, he woke up inside Hell Cell -9. No charges, no contact, no Earth. Back to prison. Kara returned the next day, slipping. A second datapad to Dane during food drop. Don't talk, she said. There are ears everywhere. Dane spoke anyway, low and slow. You've seen them, haven't you? Kara froze. You've seen what's hiding in Sector 7, he said. I saw. Shadows, she admitted. They took one of our guards down there. He was never the same when he came back. He couldn't speak. Then he just vanished again. Leaned closer. They're experimenting. Not just on prisoners. Maybe on guards, too. She looked sick. Why? To make something new. Something worse than humans. That night, the prison shook. Not a riot. Not a weapon. Something. Beneath, the warden stood in the command room, eyes cold as stone. Figure appeared on his. Screen blurred, cloaked in static. The human has touched the system, the voice said. He has made contact. He cannot be allowed deeper, the warden responded. He's already inside. But now we test loyalty from both sides. Meanwhile, Kara returned to Dane's cell again. She looked tired, her uniform rumpled, eyes bloodshot. They're watching me now, she whispered. I think I'm flagged. Dane looked her straight in the eyes. Then we make a deal. Her breath caught. A deal? You help me get into Sector 7, he said, and I help you get out. She hesitated. We can't escape. This prison is locked from orbit. It won't escape, Dane said. We'll expose them. The plan begins. Dane used Kara's data to map out blind spots in the camera system. Only 4 places in the prison had total darkness for more than 20 seconds. One was near a garbage vent that led to a forgotten supply tunnel. Kara rerouted a patrol shift. Dane slipped out. For the first time, he was loose. He moved like a ghost, avoiding detection, using smell and vibration instead of sight. He reached a heavy steel door marked Access Restricted, bio-level clearance only, but it was already open. He stepped through the air, changed immediately. Colder, thicker, lights flickered. Red dot glass pods lined the walls. Inside were creatures. Some were alien, some looked like humans, half-dash transformed, and some were still awake. Their eyes followed him, behind one cracked pod. A figure stared, skin like oil, bones too long, voice like wires snapping. You were not made for this place, human. Dane stepped closer. Neither were you. Suddenly, alarm screamed. They had found him. Dane ran, but not alone. Something else moved in the vents, slithering above, tracking him, and when he reached the final door. The warden stood waiting. Face-2-face::curiosity, the warden said, is a Deathworlder's true weapon. Dane's hands flexed. What are you building down here? The warden smiled. Insurance, he said. Against you. You mean humans? No, the warden said, stepping aside to reveal a chamber filled with human clones. Today, we're wrong. Too still. Too perfect. Too obedient? They're not from Earth, Dane whispered. No, the warden said. They're made from you. The warden stood inside a bright white chamber deep below the prison. Around him, glass tubes rose from the floor. Inside each one copies, not exact, not human, but close, tall, strong, cold, blank. He turned to Dane Voss. You wanted answers? The warden said. Here they are. Dane stared at the tubes. Each clone looked like him, but their eyes were empty. They're not soldiers, Dane said. They're weapons. No, the warden replied. They're replacements. Then he smiled. Why use wild humans when we can build our own? Full story. Dane stepped forward, fists clenched. These things aren't alive. They don't need to be, the warden said. We only need their strength, their instinct, their fearlessness. We copied that from you. You kidnapped me. You were selected. The warden corrected. It's the last mission you led on Earth Sector Black. It was a test. You passed. Dane's voice dropped. What do you want with me? The warden tapped a screen. The clone's eyes opened. All this was never about punishment. This prison is a forge, and you, Dane Voss, are the fire. Flashback. Years ago, Dane's team was sent to destroy an illegal alien weapons lab. What he didn't know was that Earth's own government wanted what was inside. DNA, samples, human genomes mixed with alien tech. His unit died retrieving them. And now, that same tech was used to build the army in front of him. Clones with no fear. No soul, no limit. Back to prison. You tested me in the feeding pit, Dane said. You let the other prisoners try to break me. Yes, the warden said. We watched how you fought, how you controlled yourself. You didn't kill unless needed. That was the last piece. Dane's eyes narrowed. Piece of what? Programming? Up above? Kara sat in the control room, watching all feeds. She tapped into an unlisted channel when she wasn't. Was supposed to see it showed Dane in the clone lab, the warden speaking. She heard it all. He wasn't just trying to copy Dane. He was trying to erase real humans and replace them with obedient versions. She turned to the other guards. Some had seen enough. Some still believed the warden lines were being drawn fast. Dane makes his move. Dane looked at the clones, then at the warden. You're afraid of us, Dane said. That's why you're building these. No, the warden said, walking past him. I'm afraid of what's coming. He tapped another button. A new screen lit up. Not Hell Sal 9, but another station. Exploding screams, guards. Ripped apart. Only one word in the report. Deathworlder, uncontained. The galaxy's secret. The warden revealed the truth. Dane wasn't the first human taken. There were others. Some were too wild too. Fast, too smart, one broke out. Now it's loose in the galaxy, destroying everything. That's why the warden built his own versions, so he could fight human with human, or something close enough. Kara's warning. Kara finally spoke into Dane's earpiece. They're watching you. They've locked all exit paths. Dane replied calmly. I didn't come to escape. He grabbed a steel pipe from the wall and smashed one of the tubes. The clone inside dropped. Gasping then, it attacked him fast. Brutal. Dane blocked, countered, slammed it into another pod. The warden backed away. But Dane didn't chase. He looked into the camera. I'm not the weapon, Dane said. I'm the warning. Meanwhile, the guards split. Kara led a small group of loyal guards through the inner levels. They disabled cameras, locked the warden's private routes, and spread the truth. The warden was building an army of fake humans. Some believed her. Others reported her. Fights began in the halls. A war was starting. Inside the prison. Back to Dane. Dane took one of the fallen clone's tools, a wrist console, and hacked it. The system opened. He now had partial access to the prison's security. A grid. Kara patched him through to the broadcast system, suddenly dash every prisoner, every guard. Every station heard his voice. This isn't a prison. It's a lab. They're not locking you up. They're studying you, replacing you. I'm Dane Voss. I came here as a prisoner, leaving as something else. And if they want war, I'll give it to them. The warden's escape. The warden activated his private elevator. He couldn't stop Dane, but he could slow him down as he rose toward the control tower. He activated the final phase. Sector 7's doors opened. A creature not clone, not human dash awoke. It was the first failure, twice as strong, 3 times as fast. And it remembered Dane. Final scene. Kara met Dane near the waste tunnels. She looked at the screen. Something was moving toward them. Big, fast, hungry. Is that another clone? She asked. Dane shook his head. No, that one's real. He cracked his knuckles. Let's finish this. Warning sirens echoed through Hell Cell. But it wasn't a riot this time. It wasn't a fire. It was worse. Something escaped from deep below Sector 7. Blast doors exploded open. A guard screamed over the radio. It's loose. It's static. Then, silence. In the upper levels, Kara stood beside Dane, watching the live feed. A massive shape moved through the corridors too fast for cameras to track. Walls bent around it. Lights flickered and died. Kara's voice cracked. What is that thing? Dane's eyes didn't blink. His voice was like stone. That was their first mistake. And now, it's hunting everyone. Full story. Kara and Dane moved fast, passing through wrecked corridors and burning cells. Prisoners were locked in, screaming for help. Guards lay broken or gone. The air smelled like acid and metal. Dane grabbed a weapon from a fallen officer, an old pulse blaster. It won't kill that thing, Kara warned. I don't need to kill it, Dane said. I just need to slow it down. Flashback 1. Year earlier, the creature wasn't born. It was built, half human, half alien, stronger than both. Meant to be a prototype and ultimate soldier, but it kept evolving. It didn't follow orders, so the warden sealed it away. Till now. Back to prison. Kara. Check the feeds. Sector 3 gone. Sector 4 breached. The creature was moving toward the control tower. And it wasn't alone. Other clone experiments had also. It's broken out. Half-formed. Unstable. Dangerous. Your plan worked, Kara said. You exposed the warden. Dane reloaded. Ow. Now let's bury him. The guards began to choose sides. Inside the command center, surviving guards heard Dane's broadcast. Some were scared. Others were angry. A few, like Kara's team, were ready to fight beside him. For the first time in Halsalini's history, a human was leading the guards. Dane's defense plan. Dane took command fast. He knew war. He broke the prison map into zones. Red zone. Already lost yellow zone. Can be held green zone. Safe for now, he sent messages to loyal guards and even trusted prisoners. They used scrap metal, welding torches, and stolen weapons to build traps. Flame pits, shock barriers, gas traps. Halsaline became a battlefield. The hunted had become the hunters. The creature. Tax. A scream ripped through the green zone, then came the thud. Thud, thud. Steel bent. The creature crashed through. Dane met it head-on. Not with bullets, but with strategy. He triggered a fuel line, igniting a wall of fire between them. But it kept coming. Dane ducked, rolled, grabbed a metal pipe and slammed it into the creature's knee. It stumbled, but healed instantly, Kara. Fired from the side, the creature turned. That gave Dane an opening. He stabbed it with a power cell. The shock blasted it. Back. Still not dead, but slowed. Dane and Kara hied to talk. They ducked into a side chamber. Blood dripped from Dane's arm. Kara helped patch him. Why are you helping us? She asked. Why not escape and leave this place behind? Dane looked at her. I don't run, he said. I fix what's broken, even when it's this bad. Kara paused. You think we can win? Dane replied. But we can survive. The warden's last play. The warden, now hiding in the upper tower, activated his last defense. The security drone's machines older than the prison itself. They didn't care who they shot guard, prisoner or intruder. They were designed to kill everything not registered as clean. Kara's group wasn't on that list. Neither was Dane. Battle on 3 fronts. Dane and Kara's team fighting the creature. Clone experiments rampaging through cell blocks, drones executing anything. They see chaos. But Dane had a plan. The final trust. He turned to Kara. I need you to do something I can't. What? Get to the core? Shut down the AI? You know the system? I don't. And you? I'll hold the creature off. Kara shook her head. You'll die. Dane smiled. I'm from Earth. We don't die easy. Kara's run. While Dane and the team drew fire, Kara sprinted through collapsing halls. Dodging drone lasers and clone attacks, she reached the mainframe, plugged in the pad Dane gave her. Override requested. The AI said. Kara typed one word, Dane. The system paused, then unlocked. She shut everything down. Drones fell. Cameras blinked out. The prison went dark. Final moments, the creature leaped at Dane one last time. Dane grabbed a charge pack, lit the fuse, and threw it into the beast's mouth. Boom, silence, smoke then. Dane stepped out. A live Kara ran to him. You're insane, we grinned. Deathworlders are supposed to be. The feeding pit was quiet. It never stayed quiet for long. The red lights above flickered as guards watched from behind blast-proof glass. Inside the pit, alien prisoners stood in a wide circle. Claws clicked. Tails twitched. Breath steamed in. The cold air, the scent of blood and metal filled the room. They were waiting for one thing. The doors slammed open. 2 guards shoved a chained figure into the pit. He hit the ground hard but didn't cry out. Stood slowly, lifting his head. No fear, just calm. It's just him, Don Voss, the human. A Deathworlder. Every prisoner in that pit had killed. Murderers, warlords, monsters. But now they hesitated. One spoke first, a thick, 4-armed creature with metal spikes for bones. So this is the Deathworld meat, another hissed. They say he fought through firestorms, and he killed a whole squad with a rock. The 4-armed one grinned. Let's find out. He lunged, and then hell broke loose. Full story, Dane moved like a shadow. Fast, brutal, silent. The 4-armed prisoner reached him first, swinging both top fists at once. Dane ducked. One hand grabbed the creature's wrist, twisted it, snapped. It scream. Then a head slammed into a steel wall. Out cold. 3 others charged. Dane dropped low, sweeping their legs. One fell hard. Second tried to stab him with a sharp tail. Dane grabbed the tail and broke it in 2 with a crack that echoed. More came, but it wasn't a fight, it was a warning. Dane didn't kill. He broke bones, shattered pride, made sure everyone watching understood one thing. He was in control. Above, in the control tower, Caratellan stared at the feed. Eyes wide. He's not fighting like a brute, she said. He's trained. The warden stood beside her, arms crossed. Trained is too simple. That man thinks in angles and pain points. He's measuring every threat before they move. Kara pointed to one of the guards. That one tried to stab him 3 times. Dane didn't kill him. Why? The warden watched Dane kneel beside the groaning prisoner, tying his own broken tail into a tourniquet. Because Deathworlders choose when to kill, the warden said. And when they don't, it's worse. Later that night, Dane was back. In his cell, bruised but calm, he sat cross-legged on the floor. Listening, thinking, he heard footsteps, soft ones. A keycard swiped. Kara stood outside the bars, her helmet off. She looked at him with new eyes now. Not fear, not hatred. Curiosity. You could have killed all of them, she said. Dane nodded. Why didn't you? He looked up. I didn't. Need to? Kara tilted her head. So, you're not here to survive. What are you doing here? Dane's voice was quiet, like he was telling her a secret meant only for her. I'm here to understand why this place doesn't make sense. Flashback Dane's memory. Back on Earth. Dane wasn't a criminal. He was a soldier. He served in Black Ops missions, places where the atmosphere burned and time broke down. He saw things no one talked about. After a mission on the edge of the galaxy, he was classified. Disappeared. No trial. No explanation, just ... Sent to Hell's Cell -9, not even his own kind fought for his return. He remembered his last mission, a facility, a lab. Strange creatures, not human being, moved in black ships. He never knew what happened after that, but now. In this prison, he saw faces that matched the ones from that lab. Something connected, something secret, and now he would find it. Back to present, Kara stood silently, then leaned in closer. You're not the only thing wrong here, she whispered. Guards are disappearing. Some come back. Changed. Some don't come back at. All Dane met her eyes. Then help me. You know the layout. I need maps, logs, warden access points. She hesitated. If they catch me, they won't, Dane said. 'Cause I'll protect you. Long silence. Then Kara pulled something from her jacket. A tiny hidden datapad. She slid it through the food slot. I'll come back tomorrow. Don't get killed. She turned and left. Dane looked at the pad and smiled. Meanwhile, in the warden's chamber, a private communication came through. From deep within the prison, Sector 7. The message was just 5 words. The human is watching us. The warden frowned, then replied, "Begin phase 3. Later that night, the lights in Dane's wing flickered. He sat on his bed, listening, mapping the guard patterns, watching who walked by. Every 32 seconds, camera blinked off someone had hacked the feed. Dane tested his door. Still locked, he leaned back and closed his eyes. But outside his cell, something else moved. It wasn't a guard. It didn't walk. It slit, and it wasn't coming to kill Dane. It was coming to test him. The prison alarms are silent now. The warden is gone. The Empire has vanished. But the prisoners remain, and so do the guards. They all stare at one man, Dane, the Deathworlder. He doesn't speak. He just walks past the shattered gates of Hell's Cell-9. No. One stops him. One of the guards whispers, "Do we follow him?" Another prisoner replies, "We already are." The prison alarms are silent now. The warden is gone. The Empire has vanished. But the prisoners remain. So do the guards. They all stare at one man, Dane, the Deathworlder. He doesn't speak, just walks past the shattered gates of Hell. Cell-9. No one stops him. One of the guards whispers, "Do we follow him?" Another prisoner replies, "We already are." Plot points. Post-revolt confusion with Empire forces destroyed. Chaos spreads inside Hellsel-9. Some inmates riot. Others begin building barricades. They fear the Empire will return. A strange alliance. The guard commander who once beat Dane calls for a meeting with prisoners. They ask Dane to lead not just the prison, but the others like it across the stars. Dane refuses. At first, the Empire's final transmission, a broken, glitching hologram, plays across. Every wall in the prison, you think you've won? This was one cell. There are thousands more, and Earth will burn last. Dane hears this and changes his mind. The First Order's Dane walks to the command center. He sends a message not to Earth, but to other Empire prisons. You think you're alone. You're not. I was like you. Now I'm free. If you want out, you know who to call. I follow him. Not out of fear. Not because of control, but because he's the only one who never broke. Prisoners, guards, defectors now follow the Deathworld human. Ending scene. Ships stolen from the Empire, launched from Hellsel-9, one by one. They vanish into hyperspace, heading to other prisons, to other broken systems, and at the center of them all is Dane. They made me a prisoner, he says. Now I make the rules.